let's in the meantime talk about the G7 countries as well. The G7 countries have now called for immediate de-escalation and asking that the both sides must engage in dialogue. Now, this is mainly when it comes to the G7 countries who have been reacting the foreign minister's statement on the ongoing conflict between India and Pakistan. The countries that comprises of Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan and the UK and United States and the High Representative of European Union have strongly condemned the terror attack in Pahalgam and have now urged maximum restraint from both India and Pakistan, saying that further military escalation poses a serious threat to regional stability as well. So de-escalation call that has been made, Yavar, by the G7 countries there. Of course, India making it clear all the action, all the retaliation that has now been done by India, India immediately informs the other countries as well of informing them of Indian action and why it was supposed to be taken against a terror state like Pakistan. G7 countries, however, pushing for de-escalation. Yavar.
Well, exactly, Amita. Time and again, India has been awaiting the counterparts over the actions that they have taken after the Pahalgam carnage. Now, there's a statement from the G7 countries in which they said that we call for immediate de-escalation and encourage both countries to engage in direct dialogue towards a peaceful outcome. So, this is a message that came in from them. Remember, yesterday, the US president also said that they want de-escalation, but the approach that Pakistan has adopted in order to carry out strikes on the civilian population, in order to carry out strikes on the key installation, military installation, has somewhere being challenged, and it has been answered in the same language by the India as well, because in order to provide any sort of reluctancy will eventually target the more vital installations all across. G7 members, they have urged for the de-escalation. India has also said that they don't want any sort of escalation, but every befitting reply will be given in order to protect the sovereignty of the nation and the national interest. So somehow we are witnessing that besides this, has now taken a grim situation, the worsened situation. The G7 countries are now taking on the board, saying that they want de-escalation and both the countries should talk to each other with regard to all the peaceful manners that could be on the track all across. This is not a first statement, Amita, that has came in from the international level. Earlier we have witnessed that many of such statements came in from the counterparts, but the message was loud and clear that we know how to protect our sovereignty and we know how to protect our land, and that was a message that has been sent by the India to the Pakistan through today's air-to-surface missile strike at 3 air-base keys. Back to you.
Well, that's the point there. What's the point of de-escalation, calling for the moment there when there are countries who have come out to condemn the terror attack that happened in Pahalgam, but are immediately not calling out Pakistan for its cowardly actions? We've already seen the statement that came in from the United States of America saying that they have interest both in India and Pakistan. However, J.D. Vance making it clear that the conflict that is going on between India and Pakistan is none of their business. So exactly the message that comes across from several countries asking for a de-escalation. Why is that India has now been preached over de-escalation, Yavar? Because this is not something that India wanted. India did not start the war, but India did make it clear if there is any provocation, then that would be met with similar or even when it comes to a stronger response, and that is exactly what India is doing. Why isn't Pakistan being asked to de-escalate?
Well, exactly. That's what India is also saying, that why not to ask the Pakistan for the de-escalation? Why only India is being asked? Response have been given, strong response have been given. That's what the India is saying, that every escalation will have a strong hand response. That's we have been witnessing all across. But this was a statement from the G7 countries in which they said that both the countries should de-escalate on the ground. Remember that there has been the massive political development as well, besides the military action that has been initiated and witnessed all across after the India's first strike on the Pakistan occupied J&K in the last few days. So this has been the scene all across, because the international community, the international levels, they are closely monitoring the conflict between the India and the Pakistan. So as the number of the statements have been witnessed all across, this was a fresh statement from the G7 countries where they said that there should be the de-escalation on mode. US also said that de-escalation on the mode. But the question remains that why only India will be asked for the de-escalation? Why not this message will be sent to the Pakistan as well? Back to you.